So for those of you who don't know, I'm pregnant again. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So it has been a hot minute since I've sat down and filmed a video for you guys, which I'm really sorry about. I don't know why I do this when I get pregnant. Like, I just get way too tired and like overwhelmed to think about filming videos, but now that I'm in my second trimester, I feel like this is the time around my last pregnancy also where I felt like my normal energy coming back and I felt like I could start doing things again. So hopefully I'm gonna do my best to get back in the swing of things and start filming videos and hopefully posting at least once a week. So fingers crossed that I can stay motivated enough to do that. So yeah, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you definitely should because I update on there a lot quicker. And that is where I announced my pregnancy, and I'll probably announce when the baby's born and stuff like that. And I post videos of Brody all day long because I think he's hilarious. So yeah, I will link my Instagram in the description box down below so you guys can follow me on there if you don't already. So I don't even really know where to begin since I haven't updated you guys at all on this pregnancy. I'm now 19 weeks pregnant, so I'm clearly out of the first trimester, but I'm gonna just update you guys all on the first trimester and then like give you a little update on like what's been going on so far. And then hopefully I can film a second trimester update and then a third trimester update too. That is my goal. And because now with a 9-month-old, it's really hard to find time to film. He is only taking 2 naps a day now and he has so much energy. Guys, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with the 2. Honestly, I am super scared and overwhelmed because Brody takes up every ounce of my attention when he's awake, and he's awake a lot now, and I know he's just going to be taking like less and less naps as he gets older, so hopefully he gets more independent and more trustworthy because right now he like has separation anxiety from me if I'm like just a few feet away from him, and he's also very untrustworthy. He is like way too confident in his own abilities. He'll just like pull himself up on a piece of furniture that is not a steady piece of furniture to be pulling himself up on in the first place. And then he'll just like turn around and let go and face plant. He hits his head like 10 times a day. So I literally have to be like behind him and like ready to catch him at all moments of the day because that's just how he lives his life right now. It's pretty exciting. So just to give you a little bit of history, Brody was a preterm baby. So he came at 33 weeks. My water just broke. There was no warning sign. The rest of my pregnancy was super smooth sailing. No one in my family has history of preterm birth, so it was a huge surprise. And still to this day, we don't know why my water broke at 33 weeks. And so when I went in for my 6-week checkup after he was born, my doctor just advised me that whenever I decided to get pregnant again, that it would be considered a high-risk pregnancy because I had previously delivered preterm, and that they would suggest I did progesterone supplements, and she also suggested that I wait at least a year before I got pregnant again. So that would be waiting until April. Whoops. So I was exclusively pumping for Brody, and so I hadn't started my period or anything like that yet. So when you're breastfeeding, sometimes you don't start your normal menstrual cycle and stuff like that. That's why there's that myth that you can't get pregnant when you're breastfeeding, but you can. So I hadn't started my period or anything yet, so I didn't have anything to really like base anything off of. So I didn't want to go on the pill, or I don't know, I'm just not the biggest fan of birth control. So we were just being careful, but like I said, since I hadn't started my period yet, I just like assumed I wasn't ovulating. So there were definitely times where apparently we were not as careful as we should be because I got pregnant. So Brody was, I guess, around 5 months when I ended up getting pregnant, and he was sleeping through the night during this time where we must have gotten pregnant because I feel like subconsciously in my head, like I was talking about having another baby all the time. Like during this time I was like I was probably already pregnant but I didn't know yet. And I was like literally telling everyone how like I wish I didn't have to wait a year to get pregnant because like I would really want to try again for another baby. Like I was just saying that, not actually thinking that I would actually get pregnant during any of this time, which is crazy now because Brody is so much work, and like I feel like if I wasn't pregnant right now, I would be like being so cautious because I'm so exhausted from just him. But I guess that things happen for a reason, and obviously this baby was supposed to be here, and now that he is here, oh, it's a boy, by the way. I just spoiled my own surprise. It's not really a surprise. I announced it in my Instagram post when I announced the pregnancy, but a lot of people don't know. But yeah, I'm having another boy. So it's gonna be crazy. They're gonna be 14 months apart if this baby goes full term, which I'm praying he does. And we are taking like a lot of precautions to make sure that that does happen. My milk supply, since I was exclusively pumping, I knew exactly how much milk that I was making. And like literally I felt like overnight my milk just started going down, and he was around 5 months at this time when I like all of a sudden started making less milk. And I was like Googling like reasons why your milk would go down out of nowhere. And I had a friend who just got pregnant with like her babies were really close together, and she told me that that's how she knew she was pregnant, is because her milk went down. And she was like telling me that like she was like teasing me like, oh, like be careful, like that might mean you're pregnant. So I had that in the back of my head. And then we were driving home. We went to a Halloween party and we were driving home, and I was just like weirdly emotional. Like, you know, that kind of emotional where you like know it's ridiculous. And you either know like, well, for me, I was like, I'm either about to start my period or I'm pregnant, because those are like the only two times that I feel like this wave of like emotion but in my head I know it's like irrational. So me and Austin were just like brushing our teeth that night. So this was in October, like let's say around October 20th. I don't know the exact date. We were brushing our teeth, and I had a bunch of those like cheap paper pregnancy tests left. Because I bought like a ton, like a huge pack of them when I found out I was pregnant with Brody, because like I was psycho and wanted to take pregnancy tests every single day until my first doctor's appointment to make sure I was still pregnant. Literally, like we were brushing our teeth and I like went to the bathroom and I was like, I'm just gonna pee on this and just make sure I'm not pregnant. And I like sat it on the counter in between us while I was brushing my teeth, and then I just like looked down at it, like literally like right away too. I like looked down at it and I was like, that's weird. It kind of looks like there's two lines. And then Austin looked at it, and that was like the weirdest night because we were not expecting this at all. And we were both just like speechless and shocked. I think that was like literally the most surprised I've ever been in my entire life. We were just like staring at each other like, what the heck, how did this happen? I mean, we got pregnant really fast with Brody too, but like we actually like went off birth control like intentionally and like for a month, and then we got pregnant that month. But so I knew that like we were pretty fertile, but I didn't like think that, because I mean, if I didn't have my period, it must have been literally the first time I was ever ovulating. And like we were pretty careful, like we were only like not careful like maybe 3 or 4 times. So I was like, what are the chances that that would happen? That's just crazy. So I know that we are like very fortunate in that, but also at the same time it was like unexpected and like kind of scary. Glad to know next time I'm going to be, you know, very cautious. So I found out we're having another baby. So I went in for a blood test once I got a positive test, and my HCG level was already really high. So my doctor thought I was around like 6 weeks pregnant, I think she thought. And then about a week later, so I'd only known I was pregnant for about a week, I think, I started having some bleeding, and it was more than just spotting. And I like thought for sure I was having a miscarriage. I was just like, well, like I totally mentally prepared for it. I was like so scared because I didn't have any bleeding at all with Brody. And I was just like, Austin's mom and my mom were actually here, which never happens, but they were both here at the exact same time. And I like came out of the bathroom and I was like, yeah, so I'm bleeding. And their faces were like very scared. And I was like, I think I need to go to the doctor. Can like one of you stay with Brody? And I called Austin and we like went straight to the doctor and they gave me an ultrasound. And they could see something in there, but there was no heartbeat yet. And so the lady doing my ultrasound, she was like, I mean, this would look normal if you were only like 5 weeks pregnant. But with your HCG levels, like we were thinking at that point, they thought I was around 7 weeks pregnant. And at 7 weeks, they would see more than what they were seeing at that point. So they were like, but you never know. They were like, come back next week. We can't tell you anything either way until we check next week to see what's going on. So yeah, there was like an entire week where I thought I had a miscarriage, but it was like a really weird feeling because I didn't know for sure if I had a miscarriage or not. So that was really weird. So we went back the following week and I was like so scared. Me and Austin were like holding hands, so scared. And they like were moving around and I could tell that they saw like on the screen immediately, like I saw something, like you could tell that there was something in there, but I wasn't really sure what I was looking at. And then the ultrasound technician looked really confused too, which confused us. And then Austin finally, like, she wasn't really saying anything. She was just like moving around and Austin finally asked her like, do you see anything? And she's like, oh yeah, I definitely see something. Like, and then she's like there's a heartbeat right there. And she like goes on the heartbeat and we both like look at each other like, okay, so there's a heartbeat. That's amazing. Cause we thought for the past week that we might be having a miscarriage. She's like, but I'm trying to figure out what these things are over here. And she's like looking around. She's like, it looks like there's multiple gestational sacs. And then Austin's like, well, what does that mean? And she's like, well, that means there'd be multiple babies. And then we were both like, what the heck? We already are basically having twins at this point. But then she's like, but I only see a heartbeat in one of these gestational sacs. So there ended up being 3 gestational sacs, but only 1 heartbeat at that point. So again, they were like, we'll come back next week because it's really small still. So I was like really only like 6 weeks at that point. But my HCG levels were really high because I had multiple gestational sacs. So they thought based off my HCG levels that I was further along, but really I just had high HCG levels because my body thought I was having multiples for some reason. It was weird. So they're like, come back next week and we'll see if any more heartbeats develop. So went from thinking I was having a miscarriage to thinking I might be having triplets. Then the next week I went in again. There was still, like, you could tell like the embryo had actually formed in the 1 gestational sac that they saw a heartbeat in. And so I was 7 weeks at that point, and the other 2 gestational sacs had kind of dissolved, but then there was a hematoma, which apparently is pretty common. That's like a blood clot in your uterus. Like 30% of women get them, apparently, but they think that it might have been I might have gotten it from the gestational sacs dissolving or something like that. They're not really sure what happened, but I definitely had a hematoma, which was causing more bleeding. So I was having a good amount of bleeding during this time, which was like kind of freaking me out, but they told me that it was normal with the hematoma. And they told me that I needed to be kind of on like modified bed rest because they didn't want to like make the hematoma grow or move because it could like detach the placenta and that would make me lose the pregnancy if that had done something. So that was really frustrating. So I had to like hire help to come literally carry Brody because they told me that he was like too heavy for me to carry. So I would be like playing with him all day. And then as soon as like I needed to like carry him to the crib or something, I'd have to like call and ask someone for help. So luckily Austin's mom like helped me out with that. Super helpful. But that was like for a couple of weeks and that was very annoying not to be able to like hold my own baby. And then finally, I think around 9 weeks, the hematoma completely went away. And then they told me like I was good, I was fine to like continue my normal activity, but just like be like mellow. So I haven't been working out at all this pregnancy just because they've been like scaring me. So even like I was like, oh, the only thing I really do every day is like go on walks because I like walk Willow and Brody outside. And they're like, okay, well just make sure you're strolling, not walking too fast. And they're like, if like someone else is at your house, have them pick your baby up instead of you picking them up. So I try to do that, but like I'm with Brody most of the time by myself, so I have to pick him up even though he's like 25 pounds. And he is pretty heavy, but I have a little crib down here now. So when I'm home alone, I just have him nap down here because I feel like that's better than carrying him up the stairs because our stairs are pretty steep. So I'm like, at least I'm doing that. And now that he's crawling and like moving around a little bit more by himself, I don't have to pick him up as much, but he's a baby. Like obviously I have to pick him up sometimes. Yeah, ever since the hematoma's been gone, it's been pretty smooth sailing since then. And the baby has been looking really healthy every time I get an ultrasound. So I had the NIPT test, which is the chromosome test at 10 weeks. I did it with Brody too. That's how I found out the gender so early. And that also tests for like Down syndrome and like any chromosome defects. And so everything on that was fine. And then that's how I found out that we are also having a boy again. So we were kind of hoping for a girl just because we just had 3 boys last year in our family. But I don't know, I've always wanted boys, and I feel like me and Austin make good boys because we make like giant humans. So I feel like it'll be fun for like 2 boys to be so close in age and stuff like that. So I'm really excited, and we do have a name picked out, but haven't like announced it yet. So if you guys have any cute ideas of how to like do a name reveal, let me know. But yeah, he's looking really healthy. I'm getting ultrasounds every 2 weeks, which is annoying because my doctor's office is actually like really far away. And I brought Brody one time with me and it went okay, but he's really loud and like the doctor's office is so quiet, and then he's like screaming the whole time. So I try to usually have Austin's mom or someone watch him while I have doctor's appointments. But I'm getting ultrasounds every 2 weeks to check my cervix length. They're just like trying to be super cautious and make sure that they can like prevent any signs of preterm labor. And then at 16 weeks, I started progesterone shots. So that's supposed to help decrease your risk of preterm birth. And I've heard really good things. My doctor actually took them with her second pregnancy. I have a friend who just went through it. She had her first baby at 32 weeks, and then she took the progesterone shots with her second baby, and then she went to 36 weeks with that baby. And then I had some people message me on Instagram too, telling me that they have had a lot of success with that. So I'm hopeful that those work well for me. And I'm having Austin give them to me at home because, like I said, our doctor's office is kind of far away. And it's actually really funny because Austin is like the biggest baby when it comes to needles. Like no joke, like he gets like pale in the face and like woozy anytime he's like around shots. And like the first time I had the nurse do it to me so she could like show Austin how to do it, and he was like literally like about to pass out. Since then, because I think I've done it 3 times now, he's getting better every time. But it's just like funny because I don't know why he's like this giant man and he's so afraid of a tiny little needle, and it like doesn't even hurt me. I don't know why it scares him, like he just has to watch it. He's so weird. But anyways, yeah, I'm hopeful that those help. So as far as symptoms, it's been very similar to my last pregnancy. I've just been really tired. I don't get morning sickness or anything like that, just tired. And it's been really hard with Brody because, like I said, he takes up a lot of my energy, and he now wakes up in the middle of the night sometimes and takes a really bad nap sometimes. So yeah, I've been really tired on top of having a restless baby. So that's pretty much why I haven't been filming very much, because I'm exhausted. Anytime I have free time, I like want to take a nap. But I'm starting to feel a little better now that I'm in my 2nd trimester, but now Brody's sleeping like even crappier than he was before. So hopefully he gets over that quickly. And then as far as like eating, I just like am kind of a picky eater when I'm pregnant. Especially my 1st trimester, like sometimes the only thing that I want is like peanut butter and jelly, which is just so weird. Like I just have like such a weird appetite. And only like really specific things sound appetizing to me no matter how hungry I am. But I think that's pretty normal for pregnancy for some reason. And I don't really crave healthy things, which I wish I did. I'm starting to now crave more like green smoothies and fruit and stuff like that now that it's getting warmer. Like it's been super warm here. I don't know what's going on with California. It's weird. But yeah, so I'm finally starting to crave some fruits and vegetables and smoothies and stuff like that. So I'm trying to fuel myself up with that while it sounds good. And then just like really emotional, which it like makes sense with the hormones. And Honestly, like in my first trimester, there were some days where I would just like cry for no reason. Like I honestly thought I had prenatal depression for a couple weeks because I was just so like sad and like overwhelmed feeling mostly. Feel like I could barely handle Brody, and the thought of having like another one just like really scared me to the point where I just like have to cry. And like, I mean, that still really scares me. So if any of you have had 2 under 2, please give me advice. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I know people do it all the time, so like I'm sure it's possible. And I just like keep reminding myself that God doesn't give you more than he knows you can handle. And I'm already looking a lot more pregnant this time than I was last time. I know I've heard a lot of people say that you show a lot quicker with your second pregnancy than you do with your first. Like your body already knows what to do, so it just pops right back out, and it's crazy. That is so true. But I also feel like I'm just less paranoid about gaining weight than I was last time. Like last time I definitely kept track of how much weight I was gaining, and this time I'm like, whatever. I know the weight will come off because it did last time. Well, hopefully it does again. But I don't know, I'm just like way less paranoid about that. I just feel like when you become a mom, I don't know, you just like kind of worry less about that kind of stuff because you realize that it doesn't matter as much. There's a lot more important things in life than the way you look. So I guess that's kind of my mentality this time, and I'm like, when I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat whatever makes me feel good. That's what I'm gonna do. Definitely looking very pregnant, and I will show you guys. All right, here we go. I feel like this literally like popped out in the past week. I went from looking like, is she pregnant, to, yeah, she's pregnant. Because like, see, when I stand up, it definitely sticks out. But I love looking pregnant, so I was excited when it finally popped out. But yeah, that is going to wrap up today's pregnancy update. Again, like I said, I'm gonna try to post a video every week, so let me know what days you guys like to watch YouTube videos on. I'm gonna try to do a second trimester and a third trimester update. Hopefully I can get organized enough to do that. And let me know what you want to see here on my channel, because I'm excited to be back and filming again. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and just following my journey and where life takes me. It's so cool that so many of you guys have been following me for such a long time and been a part of so many important milestones in my life. I just feel like really grateful to have such an awesome online community to share this stuff with. So thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video.